Good afternoon, this is Jonathan Chandler coming to you from the Virginia School of Traditional Arts. I have a little project here, a restoration project we're going to work on today. This is a little hand axe. I've never seen one just like this. This apparently is not a very common item, and I picked this one up at an antique store. And it has a few issues, so we're going to take care of some of those and restore this so we can use it. This is a double bit hand axe. This is a very smallest double bit I'd ever seen. This one does have a name on it. I can't read it at the moment. It starts with an N. I think it's a Norlund. Norlund Axe. It's a Norlund Axe. And all I've done to this point, I didn't tape this, but I did reset the handle, and the way I did that, when I bought this, this end where the actual handle goes into the eye, it was down a little bit, and you could see where it wasn't touching at the bottom down here. So to fix that, all I did was you hold your axe upside down. This is how you set an axe handle, and you hit with something, either wood or in this case is plastic. I don't want to tear up my handle here. And you're striking, you're holding the handle, not the head, and you're striking the bottom. And what that does, doesn't seem like it would, but it drives the axe head on. And then this particular axe head has a wooden wedge in it, and so then I took it and set it on something hard like my anvil. This is the vise, and then I drove that wooden wedge back down. Now, I also have a metal wedge, and I may put a metal wedge in this at the end once I get it all done. The second thing I have done is I've just wrapped this handle. This handle actually had a person's name on it. And it was just in magic marker. To get that off, I just took some brake cleaner and sprayed on the handle and took all the finish off of it, basically. We will restore the handle back with some oils. I do not like an axe handle that has polyurethane on it. It makes your hands blister. It catches your hand. But we're going to put some oil back on it. And we may touch it up lightly with some real fine sandpaper just to make it super smooth. It's pretty good right now. And this side is original. It's rusty all it can be, and then this side I've hit with the wire brush for the most part. I may do that a little bit more, but this actual axe did come with a leather sheath. This one is the original. It does have the Norlund name stamped on it, so I'll keep it with the axe, but I may make a modern version of this so that we have a protection for ourselves. We won't throw this away, but we'll keep this with the axe. I looked these up on eBay, and these are selling anywhere from like $200 to $500, or at least that's what they're asking for. So it's well worth restoring and putting in our collection so that we have this as a tool. I didn't pay nearly that much for it, but it's not in usable shape just yet. I've got my vise. I've got a piece of leather. This is just a piece that I use in the vise, and this is just to protect this handle from getting marred up. My vise has teeth in it. Most vices have teeth in it, and so we're going to set this in here, and we're not going to go crazy squishing it. We want it to be in here flat as we can, and we want to squish just enough to where it's not going to fall. But if you put the crank on this, it's going to mess up your handle, even with the leather. So we got that in there. We'll shake it, it won't fall. And all I'm going to use is a grinder with a wire wheel on it. This one's about wore out. And I will have my safety protection on, glasses and hearing protection. And I've got a piece of tape around the handle so I'm not scratching it up with this. gonna make short work of this. Up in here, it's gonna be difficult for me to get my wire wheel in there, I think. So I may just hit that with a little sandpaper just to knock it off. It's not much there. But that's pretty much it. And this thing is actually not, I mean, it's not crazy sharp, but it's not bad sharp at the moment. We did stay away from the edges. And so it's in reasonable shape right now. Alright, we're just going to take a little piece of 100 grit sandpaper and just knock this off right here. Probably could have got it with the wire wheel. Let's see if we can. I'm trying to stay off that wood is what I'm after. What I thought. It's not a good angle to get to. The handle's in the way, so we'll just make quick work of this with a little piece of sandpaper. Alright. That's kind of what we got. I think that looks pretty good. The top and the bottoms. I'm going to take this string off. I may put it back on because it's original to this piece. If I can untie this string would be best. I'm going to probably put this back on. I like the string idea, especially on something this small, but I need to get it off so I don't get it damaged, the string itself damaged by doing the next part. I'm going to pull off this tape if I can get that off, and I'm going to clean this handle up really good. I took off some of the magic marker, or I took off the magic marker, but I didn't really clean it up as good as I could have because it had this string on it. Now I got to get this blue tape off. Alright, so we removed the blue tape we had on here, and we have, this says brake parts cleaner. I get this at Walmart. It is not very expensive, but it doesn't last long either. It comes out a whole lot at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off this top part of this quickly. And we're going to keep our safety glasses on because this is mean stuff getting your eyeballs. I'm just going to spray some on there. And then I'm going to wipe it. And that's going to take off that tape residue. And clean any dirt out of the pores of the wood and that kind of thing. Basically we're using a chemical to get out the grit and the dirt and anything that was in that piece of wood. Any kind of finish, old wax, any kind of thing like that will come off with this. And we can do it right up close to the head without changing the shape of the wood. If you try using sandpaper to do that very thing, it'll do it, but you change the shape of the wood all the time. We're going to do this bottom here. I did the middle pretty good already when I took off the magic marker. Now this will dry your piece of wood out. This evaporates quickly and it takes off any oils, residues, but it will dry your piece of wood out. And we're going to have to put some oil back in it so it doesn't dry it out too much. And you can see this handle, you can see where it's been, somebody's been abusing it at some point. And it's had a little damage on that end. We may sand on that just slightly. You can see a little, I don't know if that's right or something going on there. And it's got a little discoloration part. I think that's something that's on this either. kind of, it's a dent there too. But now I'm going to get some really light sandpaper, and we're going to go over this, clean it up, and we'll put some oil back on it. I've got some wet dry 600 grit sandpaper here, 600 grit. I'm just going to tear me off a chunk. I'm not going to sand on this forever. I just want to knock off any spots that's going to give you a hot spot on your hand. Let's clean it up some. Alright, get our 100 grits back that I'll set aside, or 600 grits, 600 grit now. 100 grit we just use to knock off the big chunks, and the 600 grit we're going to really make this thing smooth. And you could do grits in the middle, but realistically you're just taking off more wood. Every grit you use, you take off more wood, and this will be good enough for an axe handle. This is not, quality of finish is not what we're going for, just smoothness and quickness, I guess, for this kind of a thing. What I have here is just homemade wood wax. It's beeswax, 50%, and walnut oil that you can buy at like the grocery store, in where they have the salad dressings and the other oil. Some people put that on there. A lot of people put it on their cutting boards. A lot of people use it for their salad. Basically all I do is I put it in a glass jar, of course take off the metal parts. I just shave up the beeswax fine. I pour in the walnut oil, and then I microwave it for 30 seconds or so until it melts all together. And you can use it hot, like if you're putting it on leather or anything, works good hot. Or you can use it as a paste wax, is what I'm going to do today. So the first step is we're going to clean off our axe. I'm going to be using some brake cleaner. I showed you this before, this stuff, brake parts cleaner. And we're just going to put a little bit on a rag, because I don't want to raise the grain at this point, but we're just going to wipe off our... Alright, we'll get us a clean one. We'll try that again. I'm just going to just clean off any debris off of the axe before I put on our wax. Just using brake parts cleaner. We're just going to squirt a little bit on a rag. We don't want to raise the grain on this. We're going to wipe off both the head and the handle. Get all the debris we can off of it. And the reason I use this is it doesn't leave any residue. Lots of painters use this very stuff when they go to paint a car. They'll do all their sanding and whatever, and then they'll hit this at the end. Doesn't leave a residue on your metal, or in this case wood. Doesn't leave residue on anything. And that's what it looks like. We'll give it just a second or two to evaporate. And I'm going to get a new cloth. I'm just using paper towel, but something like a soft t-shirt or basically any kind of rag would be probably a little better. And I'm about out of this, so I may make a video of me making some more of this. But we're just going to get a little bit on our rag. And then we're going to just start putting it on here. And it will make it look shiny, and it will add some moisture back to the wood, which is always a good thing when you get, I don't know how old this axe is. My guess is 50 years old, if not older. I don't know when they made these. I don't know how to tell you the age of it. But not only are we going to put this on the handle, we're going to put this on the head, and that will help protect the metal as well. Any kind of hammers that I have, any kind of leather work that I have, I use this on most everything as a top coat. So you can see what that's doing. It just gives it a little protection against the rust, against the elements. And it's all natural. You can put this on your cutting boards, on your bowls. You can eat it. Everything about it you can eat. The beeswax you can eat. The walnut oil you can eat. And we use the walnut oil because it doesn't sour. It doesn't go bad, they say. I used olive oil for years and years, and I never had any trouble with it. But some people say olive oil will sour, will go bad. But I didn't see that myself. But anyhow, so there is our axe, and I'm gonna put our little string back in it because it was original to it. And we may come back and put a couple more coats of this oil on it. We'll see if this soaks in good. If it'll soak in, we'll come back. We want it to be coated good, and the more coats you put on it, the more it'll soak in and keep it from going bad on you. But you can use this same thing on your hammer handles and whatever. It doesn't grab you like shellac does, or polyurethane. It doesn't do that, and it lets your hand slip. If you're using a double bit axe, normally you got to have this top hand slipping, and if you get a store-bought axe, you can always take off that finish and put this on it. Alright, today we're going to tighten up this axe head. We've got a little Norlund hand axe here with a double bit, and the handle's been somewhat loose on it. And so the way you have the axe head is you don't set the axe head down on anything. You just hold it in your hand and you hit it with something, either wood, or this is just a little thing I use for my leather work. And you just tap it on the end, and it will drive that handle up in there. This is coming out now, and it's driving the handle deeper and deeper in there, which is what we want. The handle has a wedge in it, and so we're going to try to drive that wedge down in there a little deeper. The wedge is actually working itself out right now, so we could take this apart and let you see what it looks like, but that wedge is coming out, so we're going to drive that back down. And I'm just going to use this hammer here to do that. And so I've got that back down in there. The edges are higher than the wedge, and I'm going to add a metal wedge. See if I can get it where you can see it. It's a little teeny piece, and this is for hammer handles, axe handles, what have you. And it's almost sharp on the end, and we're going to put it in here to add a wedge to this little axe. So So that's what it looks like. We can drive it down just slightly more to get it under the wood a little bit, but that's pretty close. And that should have really added some strength to this little handle. So now that's down in there good. We added that in there. That should last a lifetime now. That should not be loose. Okay, all we have left to do on our little axe is to sharpen it just a little bit. It's almost sharp now, but I will sharpen it just a little bit. And it does feel just a little bit rusty still right on that edge. So we'll take care of that as well. That's our little Norlund Axe. I can't hardly say it. We could strap this a little bit on a piece of leather if we wanted to get it crazy sharp. I don't think it needs to be crazy sharp. It's an axe, but we could do that. I've got a nice big piece of leather that I strap my knives on. That I can feel the wire edge up on that. We took the sander and with a 220 belt and just did a little bit of sanding on it right on the edge to get it just a little burr on there, and that will work off. And that side is super sharp, and this side is pretty sharp. Got a little burr up here on this side, but we didn't modify the shape of it at all. We just put a little edge back on it, and I think we're going to put that as in the done column. If you want to see how to make the mask for this double bit, and this could easily be scaled up just a little bit and fit any double bit. But if you want to see how to make this mask, we're going to put a link in the video up here at the end, and you can click on that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. This is what our little axe looks like now. We took care in not in destroying the antiqueness of it, but we did get it back into serviceable condition so we can use it. I'm probably going to put that string back on it because I like that idea of wrapping that around my wrist when I'm swinging this. I don't want to drop this thing. Also, that'd make it easy to tie onto a saddle or your backpack or what have you as you travel. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one.